Welcome back, everyone, to Let's Play Enemy Zero. Last time, Laura got a gun, was going hunting for an alien to try to kill it, but she got killed herself instead, because she doesn't really remember how to use that gun. She doesn't remember her training. Her memory's all scrambled due to waking up out of the cryo-sleep, so we have to go through training ourselves to remember how to use this gun and fight the enemy. So this is the training mode that I skipped back at the beginning. It tells us how to play the actual, shooting parts of the game. It eases us into it. Right, so we're in a VR environment, I guess. It's a VR mission. We have a gun. This gun, well, I don't know if this gun has ammo. I'm assuming it has unlimited ammo. Unlike the gun in the actual game. Now, it's said that the enemy would be visible. So in the game, the enemies, of course, are invisible. So it's easing us into things by having a visible enemy to start with that we can use for target practice. And we also have a mini-map. We don't have that in the actual game. Well, we know how to interpret these sounds now. Oh, but we don't need to, because it's right on the map. See, it's on the map over there. We don't have that advantage in the game, so I can just wait over here. Yeah, there it is. I did okay. But not okay enough, because now we're on level 2, and the enemy is now invisible. We still have our map, however, so we still have an advantage over the actual game. If you take this training mode before you actually start the game, it might seem a little confusing, because, you start off in an FMV room. You might wonder what this whole section here is about. Oh. And you heard that there was an alarm that was going off when it was right on top of us. So that's how you know you're about to die. Alright, so now we're going to get what it's like in the actual game. No minimap, the enemies are invisible, and there are 3 of them. Now you might wonder, if you're using sound to detect where the enemies are, what happens if there's more than one? Maybe we can find out. There's one around here somewhere. Oh, hold on. You hear that? We've got multiple pings going on. Yeah, the pings will conflict with each other. You have to try to parse it out. Parse out the individual pings. And that can get kind of overwhelming if you've got a bunch around you and you're trying to figure out which ping is which. I think I'm away from all of the pings. And that's no good either, because we want to shoot these things. Alright, hold on. Alright, one down. Sounds like a second is this way. Just because you're aiming in the general direction of it doesn't mean you're gonna hit it. You saw I missed that first time. And in the actual game, when you have limited ammo, that can be a problem. Alright, we did good. Now we can try to start game. Like I said, I imagine you might be a bit confused if you try this tutorial before you start the actual game, because you might wonder what that has to do with this FMV game you found yourself in. And then it eventually introduces the combat. So, okay, let's get back into it. Oh wait, we're on disc 0. That's where the tutorial is. Let's get back to the game. That's weird. It's... Okay. Apparently the game deleted my saves again? Is that right? Okay, guess we're just gonna play from the start to get back up to where I died. That's no problem. Okay, here we are. I don't know why this game likes eating my saves recently. I've played this a bunch of times and have not had this trouble before, but I'm having it now. But we're back, and we're right about to go into the maze that for some reason Parker's room is on the other side of. We're armed this time, and we know how to use it. We're now fully trained up, and we are a killing machine. So, let's go after that invisible alien. I mean, we've taken on 3 at once now. 1 by itself should be no problem. Alright, we did it. And I mean, there was really no trouble at all. I don't know why Parker seemed to have so much of a problem when he was trying to do that. I mean, we handled that pretty easily, I thought. Anyway. I mean, we might as well go back to Parker's room and just see, you know, maybe what Captain Ron has to say about that. Now that we've saved the day, now that we're the hero of the Aki, and everyone can go home safe and sound, now that Laura has killed the enemy, and everyone's indebted to her now. I mean, it's a short game. You'd think it would be longer than that, but let's head on inside and talk to Ron. Oh, and by the way, now that we've done that, now that we've saved the day, Laura does have some new thoughts on what's been going on.
Voice record number 014, Laura Lewis. I have annihilated the invisible organism which killed Parker and Marcus. However, there still appears to be more. I will now proceed towards the floor where Kimberly is located.
What more? Come on. Laura's such a pessimist. I think the day's been saved. Now it's time to get our propers from the captain. I'm sure he'll be pleased. I mean, it would have been nice if we could have done this before the alien had gotten to Mercus. But we can't do everything, you know? Just some people we couldn't save.
Laura, how's it going over there? By the way, it seems that Kimberly's network connection has been partially restored. Try again to establish contact with Kimberly.
Is that all the captain has to say? How's it going? By the way, talk to Kim. Well, I'm sure Kimberly will appreciate our heroism this day. Well, Kimberly, her audio is still off, but she's showing us something that might look a little familiar. Maybe a solution to a puzzle we've seen before. Let's just keep that in mind, I guess. Alright, since it appears that there's nothing we can really do here, well, I guess we can talk to the captain one more time. I mean, he does like to give us instructions. He is the captain after all. He does like to tell us, you know, what we should be doing, even if it's just things like go investigate the invisible monster. That would surely tear you to shreds. You should go look for it. I mean, he does like to pretend that he's helping, so let's see if he has any more advice for us.
Laura, figure out a way to connect power to the elevator and head towards this tower. In addition to the others, David and George are on this side. You and Kimberly back each other up and head over here.
Alright, restore the power, get to Kimberly, and Kimberly and Laura should head towards the summer tower where everyone else is. And it seems like a good plan. I mean, it's a good thing that Kimberly was able to draw us a diagram of how to restore the power. The captain didn't seem to really have much advice on that front. But that does seem to be the only thing we have left to do in the Winter Tower. So let's head over to the power room. So now we can walk around this room without fear. I mean, more so if that had turned out to be the only alien on the ship, instead of so many aliens that are they're all over the place, and we can't see them. Fortunately, we can hear them. I mean, Laura shouldn't have even known that earpiece that detects living things was going to be useful when she picked it up at the beginning, but it's turned out to be very useful. Alright, let's head over to the power room, and we'll use Kimberly's diagram to turn the power on to the elevator. And then once we've done that, we can use the elevator to get to Kim, and then the two of us will head over to the summer tower, and hopefully we'll be able to make some kind of plan, figure something out. So we haven't figured too much out so far, other than the aliens are vulnerable to guns. It's a good thing we know that now. By the way, I'm pretty sure you could put that in when you first get to this machine and just kind of skip a whole lot of the stuff that we just did. I'm pretty sure I did that before. The first time I came down here, and before I actually tried to go to Parker's room, I believe that you can just go into the power room, and if you already know the combination, just enter it, and then head back up to the elevator. Skipping a pretty good part of the game. Alright, now that we're back on our floor, let's head to the elevator and leave our floor. We can't leave the entire Winter Tower quite yet. We do have to get to Kim first. And it does sound like someone's waiting for us up here. But never mind that. Let's get to the elevator. Which is down this way. Unless there happens to be an alien right in front of us, between us and the elevator. And there was. But now there's nothing between us. The elevator is powered up, and we're ready to go. Alright, we gotta run! Even though that was a cutscene monster, it is actually a real game monster too, and it is after us. Don't be fooled by the cutscene. It is coming, and we did lose our gun. We have no weapon, and there's a locked door.
Can you hear me? It's Kimberly. I'm watching you through the surveillance camera. The ceiling duct should be open. Climb through it and get out of there.
Alright, so we'll just look up and climb through.
Laura, right now you are in between the 4th and 5th level. I'm on the 5th level. You can get here through the emergency hatch. Watch out, the hatch is located on the other side of the tower.
Alright, Kimberly giving us directions. I just want to say that the first time through the game, that part, tricky to figure out. You have to look up and then press forward to go up into the vent. And it's not like that's something that you had to do yet in the game, so that's kind of a tricky one. But while we're resting from our reprieve, Laura has some thoughts.
Voice record number 015, Laura Lewis. I encountered one of the formless organisms which attacked Parker and Marcus in the elevator en route to Kimberly's present location. I escaped from the elevator and took refuge inside the duct system. I will proceed towards the floor where Kimberly is located.
Alright, so we're just heading towards Kimberly, and we're in a maze. I mentioned before that I like to stick to one direction when going through a maze. This time it's right. Let's hug the right wall. Because there's actually multiple points we have to get to in this vent maze. Including running against conveyors. This one can take actually kind of a while to get through, especially if you think things like the steam hurts you. No, we're good. It's refreshing. Yeah, if you think you can't walk through the steam, then it'll take you even longer to do this. We're hearing some pings, but it doesn't matter, because we found one of the rooms. Alright. Found some kind of file room. As long as there's no pinging in here, that's fine. And we found a computer. Let's see if we can access it, find out anything interesting, find anything useful. Something that might help us in our time of need. Well, forget about that, because this is George's computer, which means you can't use it. And George's not leaving a great first impression. He doesn't pick up his phone, locks his computers, just because he doesn't want you to see all the anime he's downloading. Wasting all the precious bandwidth. Bandwidth is very precious in space. It's hard to get internet access out here. He's wasting it, torrenting Naruto. Let's take a look at this part of the computer. Alright, George could not stop us from touching that part. Could he, Mercus? No, he couldn't. We got another key card, and it looks more advanced than the one we have before. Well, at least George cannot stop us from doing that. Gonna need to have a talk with this George when we find him. Thinks he can make everything off limits. And well, here's his locker. And I guess he feels that we can't just ransack his locker either. Well, you see what Laura thinks about that. But how dare George lock his personal possessions away? We'll show him. Yeah, what does George think about that? We got his gun. He can't do anything about that. Maybe he'll need this to save his life, and it won't be there, because we have it. Isn't that right, Mercus? If only you had it. Well, no need to dwell on that, on what could have been. And there's a door here, and for some reason we can't walk through it. I don't know. I don't know why that's there. Alright, we have a key card, we have a gun, so we can defend ourselves, and we also have access to open some locks that perhaps we did not have access to before. You know, I really like to climb back into that vent. It's so high up, though. If only there was some kind of ladder that could pop up out of the ground that would assist me in getting back up there. This ship really does have everything. Okay, we can hear an enemy nearby, but it doesn't matter because we have a gun. Now, we've got the gun. We've been going right. Let's turn around and go left. Just 'cause, you know, let's just see what happens when we keep going left through the steam. It doesn't bother us. It's a nice warm bath. You think that Kimberly could at least meet us halfway. She's probably just hanging out in her room. She probably hasn't even left. While Laura is gallivanting all around the Aki, doing errands for everyone. Yeah, that guy agrees with me. Here's some pinging, but I believe, yep, found another one of the rooms. It's kind of weird your first time through the game because you don't realize there are multiple exits to the maze, so you get a little confused as to when you're finally actually going to get out of this thing. Here's a gun charging station. We do have a gun. Might as well use it. On normal and hard, the gun would have no ammo, I believe, when we take it. We have some ammo on easy, but we might as well charge it up all the way. Because this particular gun does not hold much compared to the other guns. Actually, on hard difficulty, it only holds one shot before it's depleted. It's asking us our name. I know our name. NG, that means no good. Well, we know the name it wants. We know whose gun this is that we're holding. Alright, our gun's all charged up. We should be ready to go. And that's the only thing in this room. Actually, nothing else in here. Kind of strange that they made a whole entire room just for that. Alright, we're back here. And this time we're going to continue going left. While we keep our ears open. This would be a pretty tricky maze if we tried going in more than one direction. It's a good thing we don't have to. But we do have to keep track of these pings, because we're hearing multiple of them. I heard a door open. And something is right here. Alright. There's an elevator, but it's blocked by this thing. There's a gate here. I'm just gonna have to shoot it. Nope, missed. There we go. Just as an aside... Oh, I'm out of ammo. That was all. It's all gone. Just as an aside, this one section is one of the reasons I didn't want to play on hard, because I only have one shot with this gun on hard, so I would have shot that guy, and then... well, I would have no ammo left. So I would have to go all the way back, charge the gun, then come back and shoot this. And no one wants to see that. Let's go up.
Laura.
Enemy Zero was originally intended to be released for the PlayStation. However, Kenji Eno had become upset with Sony, as the PlayStation version of D had amassed around 100,000 pre-orders, yet Sony manufactured only around 28,000 units, due to other titles being given priority. Because of this, the vast majority of pre-orders were not able to be met. So, Eno made a deal with Sega to develop for their systems instead, starting with Enemy Zero. Now, Eno decided to announce this in a very showy fashion, instead of letting Sony know about this behind closed doors. Rather, at a Sony press conference, which was apparently at the 1996 Tokyo Toy Show, Eno got up on stage and showed a promo for Enemy Zero, which ended with the PlayStation logo morphing into the Saturn logo. Unfortunately, there is no video of this event.